Do you like to laugh, geek out on music, and learn all about that band or artist who had that one song back in the day, but then seemed to fall off the face of the earth? If so, you need to subscribe to One Hit Thunder. Together with an array of interesting and hilarious guests, we do a weekly dive into one-hit wonders like Eiffel 65's Blue, Krayshawn's Gucci Gucci, EMF's Unbelievable, Delamitri's Roll to Me, Los Del Rio's Macarena, Musical Youth's Pass the Dutchie, and even Patrick Swayze's She's Like the Wind. So are you subscribed to One Hit Thunder or what? As Desiree would say, you gotta be. And as K7 would encourage, you gotta come baby come and join in on the fun of the One Hit Thunder podcast.
Come, baby, come, baby, baby, come, come. Come, baby, come, baby, baby, come.
Are you a fan of young adult novels?
Have you ever wondered the stories behind the people who wrote your favorite young adult novels?
Then join author Eric J. Brown
And Alyssa Lube of Netflix's The Circle.
every other Tuesday on YAOK.
Available on all podcasting apps.
Woo!
What's up, everybody? This is Brian here to tell you about our podcast, Bingetown TV. Our hosts include 7 best friends with a love for all things television. We cover a range of genres with a focus on fantasy and sci-fi, but also dip our feet into drama, horror, comedy, and pretty much anything we think is good television. We use the traditional deep dive formula for new live shows that are released week to week, but our calling card is our Rooks and Vets and Pitchtown TV series. Rooks and Vets pairs 2 of our hosts that have seen a show with 2 of our hosts that have not seen a show. Pitchtown TV is when we have a special guest pitch us a show by having us watch the pilot and trying to convince us to watch the rest. If you're craving more content on some of your favorite TV shows, then you should listen to Bingetown TV. Find us on our website at bingetowntv.com, the Apple Podcast app, Spotify, or wherever else you may find your podcast.
Everybody, we're back with another episode of Horror Movie Night, and for some reason, Scott, most movies shouldn't be more than 90 minutes, Roger, has hit us with a third 2-hour-long movie for one of his picks with 2003's Underworld.
That's crazy, dude. But honestly, the themes are correct.
Yes.
Everything makes sense. It's not because what was Silent Hill, Blade?
Well, so
Blade, Silent Hill, Underworld.
So here's the thing: is that it goes Blade, Silent Hill, Underworld. So we have vampire witch, vampire werewolf. I think that the listeners can guess what the next universal monster or monster archetype that I will be picking is. And we have another witch movie coming up, and it's Monster Mania for me. It's like that was my whole plan all summer.
I love this Monster Mania
something
summer.
needs to balance out the terror, the summer terrors that that Matt Kelly will bestow upon us.
So let me start with the real villain of this movie. That is the man who uploaded this to Dailymotion. Thank you, Scott, for finding me an alternative way to watch this outside of Dailymotion. Because, Kyle, I don't know if you know this. The man who uploaded
How do you know it's a man?
Because no woman would do something this fucked up. The man who uploaded this 2-hour and 13-minute long movie put an ad break every 4 minutes.
No. Oh, that's sick fuck.
Yeah. So if this was 134 minutes divided by 4 minutes, that's 33 and a half ad breaks.
Yes.
So I don't know how much this guy is getting kicked back each time someone goes through an ad, but that is sadistic.
I don't even know if you could watch on so I opted to go, and I was like, it's got to be on DVD. For a movie that was on fucking TNT or Sci-Fi like any of those channels for as much as it was in its heyday, the fact that it's not easily accessible or freely accessible
so weird.
Is crazy.
Yeah.
So I was like, I know I've seen the DVD at every fucking store I've ever been at, every used like store I've ever been at. So I went and I got myself a DVD copy, and yes, it was full screen, and yes, it does have a Finch music video on the special features. But I also
What Finch song?
What It Is to Burn? That's my guess.
No,
Is it
no,
What It
it
Is to Burn?
was a
It can't
cut
be
that
What
I
It Is to Burn.
did not know. I will report back it momentarily because it's in my filing cabinet.
I
over
mean,
there.
it's definitely going to be a special feature. So
it might.
let's
Yeah,
get into a promo real quick. HMN podcast everywhere.
But it was. I watched it, and I wrote this on my. I watched it the same way that I would have in 2003, which was a full screen on a larger, wider plasma TV. On a DVD that I got secondhand. I watched it exactly the same way I would have as a kid.
I love the authenticity. I think it's a really important thing for you to maintain that in your daily life, Kyle.
I
Good
guess
job.
the Daily Motion ad breaks could have worked, but if they're every 4 minutes, it's not worth it.
The Daily Motion ad breaks made it feel like you were watching each scene separately on the DVD. Like, you're like, you know what I want to do is, does the DVD have an option where I have to choose each scene in sequence one at a time? Like,
miserable.
It was miserable. Scott found me salvation around the 45-minute mark. So
I told him to stop watching, and he did not stop watching while I procured.
I wanted to keep moving ahead. I had things to do today.
Yeah, in case there was not an alternative.
I also told him that he's seen it before and he could fib it and just like fast forward, because like the one trick I know about.
Have I seen it before? Because I don't think I have. As I was watching this, I'm like,
really?
I was like,
wait, so this is a first watch for both of y'all?
Yeah, there's no shot I've sat and watched this all the way through.
Yeah, that's kind of my thing. I'm sure I caught bits of it on TV.
Stapp vampire werewolf movie from 2003 Kyle did not watch is just
I know.
mind-blowing.
I know, dude. Listen, this is honestly, it's not, even though it's new metal as shit, it's not my cup of tea, I guess. I don't know. I never watched the Resident Evil, the Underworld,
like Scott Stapp.
He does.
That's what I'm trying to get at here.
100%. So my memory of this movie in 2003, as I'm in high school, I'm in the thick of like horror movies, going to the movies, and number one, reading Entertainment Weekly every week, like digesting those. So they were hyping up this movie well before there was a trailer or anything. And what they kept saying that really enticed me was vampire and werewolf Romeo and Juliet. And I was like, ooh, okay, that's pretty interesting. Then I saw the trailer and I saw no Romeo and Juliet when I watched the trailer and was like, I just don't think this is for me. Because all I saw in the trailer was like all of the things that I didn't like about the Resident Evil movie. It's like, it was just like, oh god,
wire
it's just
work.
so dark and
All
it's
the wire
dour and it's it's like
and wet. It's a very moist movie.
And it was at this weird time. It's like, this is the perfect precursor to like a Twilight to me. And like, it was in this time where they were like making horror adjacent movies in other genres where like, I don't think anyone would say, oh, Underworld is my favorite horror movie, but it's like an action movie with horror tendencies or like horror iconology.
Oh my god, is it ever? Dear God.
So it was like, I was just like, this movie's not for me. But then Scott picked it, so I watched it, and I watched all of it. And I will say that there are like the werewolf transformations better than I was anticipating them being for like a CGI werewolf transformation. There's like cool moments, But like all in all, I was like, they made 5 of these fucking things. Like
There are 6. There
There's
are
6
5
of these?
sequels.
Oh god,
That's a lot, dude.
That's what's insane. I didn't even know. I thought that there were 3 sequels. So
Yeah.
there are 2 movies past my understanding of and they've been talking. Okay, let me just give you a couple little interesting tidbits that I found out.
Please.
So this movie was panned by critics. They hated it. But it made something like $70+ million over its budget. I think it made $95 million on a $22 million budget in theaters. It was a huge success just with viewers. It was such a success, and it was also hyped up in such a crazy way that they greenlit a sequel before it even hit theaters.
Really?
And they approached Marvel because they wanted to do a crossover between Celine and Blade.
Yeah.
So they wanted to have an Underworld Blade movie.
I'm looking at
Marvel
all the
said
canceled
no.
projects, and they all make sense because they wanted
Yeah.
to do a Blade crossover, they
Yeah.
wanted to do a Resident Evil crossover, and they
Yeah.
wanted to do, Kyle, here's a throwback to early when you joined the show, an I, Frankenstein crossover.
Yeah, the I, Frankenstein crossover, I think, was the one that was closest
Yeah,
to actually
they-
Well,
happening.
that had to have been. Like,
Yeah.
it's such a. Those are two just
I,
odd
Frankenstein
redheaded
needed
stepchildren.
Underworld more than Underworld needed
Oh,
I,
yes.
Frankenstein.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Big time.
Well, here's the thing: is I think that Len Weissman, the guy that directed this movie, and I think that he had directed the first 2, if not more than the first 2. I think he needed this movie to be crossed over with everything else, or some producer. But here's what's even funnier is that so Marvel said no thank you to the Blade crossover because they were like, we're going in a different direction. And so this was like 2004, 2005 or whatever. And then obviously it becomes the biggest studio in the world for quite some time. And then in October of 2016, Kate Beckinsale stated that a crossover film between Underworld and the Blade franchise featuring Wesley Snipes reprising his role as Blade had been in development and discussed with Marvel Comics in the previous year, 2015. But it was declined after Marvel Studios regained the film rights to the character and planned to introduce him in the MCU. Surprise, based on our conversation a couple weeks ago about during our Blade episode, that's not happening with Mahershala Ali. So they could have a decade ago they could have fucking had a Blade movie with Wesley Snipes, but no.
When was
they
the last
decided-
Underworld movie?
I have
hold
it
on
right
one
in front of me.
second.
Hold on a second. It was 2016 2016 with Blood Wars. So there
Okay.
was Scott, there's 5 movies in the franchise.
Oh, 5 total movies? Okay.
5 total movies and then a short film. I don't know why they
that's what
needed a short film as well as a
Probably
video
for the
game.
rights.
Like,
Yeah. And you know what's crazy is that they're talking
We're gonna
about
be due for an Underworld
another
movie.
they're talking about another Underworld movie and having Kate Beckinsale reprise her role, finally coming back again as Celine.
Yeah.
Maybe she's.
I think we're almost ready for it. We're almost
Yeah,
ready for
I
another
mean-
Underworld movie.
You know, there was something in IMDb about like what she had to eat during her diet during this. It was something like cabbage and rice or cabbage and white fish or something like that to fit into the fucking pleather. And
my
and then she got pneumonia, and it was written because it was so cold and wet in all these sets, and it was that piece of trivia was written in such a way that it sounded like she got pneumonia and it helped her stay skinny. And I was like, that is fucked up. The way that you wrote that, Mr. Man, was definitely a man that wrote it.
So the other thing, so this is written by Danny McBride, but not the Danny
Yes.
McBride.
No, other Danny McBride.
Thank you for
Don't
the
worry,
clarification.
I
Okay.
spit
Different-
take and then went and checked his IMDb.
Yeah, different Danny McBride. But like, even with the end of this movie, and now I'm looking at all the sequels, like, I referenced Harry Potter last week indirectly. This feels like it's based on a book series. Like, this feels like
well.
it's supposed to be, like, it feels like it's almost like someone was like, you know, it'd be great is if there was like a 5 to 7 book series about vampires versus werewolves. Unfortunately, those don't exist right now. So let's just make movies as if they're based on books, and these are just the endings of this particular, like, because this is like, by the end of the movie, when you get to the final scene and everything's all said and done, it's basically just like, and that was all the preamble for the real story to begin.
Yeah. Oh my God, it does feel like it is. It has source material that I was not privy to.
Well, I want to break it to you guys. I think that the source material you weren't privy to was Vampire the Masquerade, the board game, like the D&D RPG, because they sued the shit out of
no way.
Whoever the company was. I want to say it would have been Lakeshore Entertainment, because they're like, there are too many there are too many overlaps between like what Vampire the Masquerade was and then what they eventually did with this movie. And I don't know, I didn't do enough research into what happened beyond just the fact that they tried to sue them about it.
I wonder.
They may have just settled out of court.
Yeah. At that point, I mean, Vampire the Masquerade was long gone at that point, right? Like almost a decade gone. Not that it's gone.
Well, I don't know if it would have been gone,
but
it definitely lost a lot of its luster by 2000.
Yeah, right.
Everybody's playing Magic the Gathering, myself included.
Yeah.
Let's do a real quick recap of what happens in this movie, because and I'm so sorry that Matt and I had to watch, and I apologize already to him about two things. One, that I keep picking these long-ass movies, but I did, and movies with a lot of gun violence, because Blade had a shitload of gun violence, and I hate that so much. I definitely
these are all three of your movies in theory not very Scott Roger picks.
No,
on paper.
I know. I definitely picked. Well, I picked two of the three on vibes. And Blade I had literally just previously watched, and I was like, you've got to fucking Blade.
And we've been long needing to have done Blade. Like that one was let's do it.
Yeah, no, I was very happy with Blade. Silent Hill, I apologize for the length, and I apologize for the length of Underworld, because it really doesn't need to be so damn long. Additionally,
God, how many ladies have you said I apologize for the length to?
0. Let's be real here. So Kyle, you watched the theatrical version, I think, because Matt and I would watch the extended version, which is 2 hours and 13 minutes long. Way too goddamn long, and all they added was just more talking. No more action, just more talking.
Yeah, when you were watching, did you wish there was more dialogue to already fill in the holes that didn't exist in the first place?
Yeah, if I could have more questions, that would be awesome.
Yeah. So it was a little bit of a rough watch for the two of us, but I am glad that we soldiered through. So here's the hopefully short-ish explanation of what happens in this fucking long movie.
Scott, do you want me to just do this? Because I can do this in a paragraph.
Please, actually, that would be awesome. I'll just give you the little Cliff's Notes that you miss after the fact.
Yeah, vampires, werewolves don't get along, haven't gotten along for a really long time. One of the vampires is a turncoat, and they're trying to turn a guy into a vampire-werewolf hybrid, and now they succeeded, and there's going to be a war in the next movie, I guess.
That's pretty solid. So Celine, you're missing a couple things, very, very few things here, honestly. Celine is played by Kate Beckinsale, and she's a death dealer. They're kind of like, the werewolf killers of the Vampire Coven. And she was turned by Victor, played by Bill Nighy, who hilariously, Len Wiseman, I believe, was the one who found him, quote unquote, found him. He went to London and thought that he was like, oh, I've got the perfect guy to play Victor, and everybody's like, yeah, we know who Bill Nighy is. It was like 2002, and he thought that he had found him, but they were like, oh yeah, we know Bill Nighy, so he's perfect. Bill Nighy is just chews every scene. But the idea is that the vampires there are 3 main vampires, and they run the coven, and they each are awake for 100 years at a time. So there's always somebody in charge, blah, blah. Victor apparently saved Celine as a young girl from a werewolf raid. It comes to pass later on that he was the one who murdered her family and then turned her. He also murdered Lucian, the head werewolf's wife, who was also Victor's daughter, because the bloodlines are not supposed to mix. The bloodlines are coming from the Corvinus bloodline. The whole reason that Michael, played by Scott Speedman, who looks like Scott Stapp, lead singer of Creed, he is the human descendant of the Corvinus bloodline, because there are 3 sons of the original immortal Corvinus. One of them got bit by a bat, became a vampire. One got bit by a wolf, became a werewolf, and the third one stayed mortal. And they were trying to find this bloodline, Underworld bloodline. They're trying to find the human who can take basically the bacteria from a vampire bite and the bacteria from a werewolf bite and become a hybrid. And that's what this
is all pre 23andMe. So this is what makes it really difficult to figure out.
Yeah, they have creepy werewolf guy going after creepy werewolf doctor going after everybody. The CGI actually stands up way better than I thought it would.
It holds up better than even like Silent Hill 2 years later, I think looked worse than this.
Yeah, I agree. I think that there was probably a bit less in this movie. I don't know, maybe I'm crazy thinking that
No, it did feel like there was less, because there was some practical stuff, and then the other where there would be CG is actually like fuller action scenes done practically. Like there is a lot of practical action that I think covers. It doesn't cover up like in a way that like they did bad CG and it covers up. It's just for the length of the scene, there's more action in that way than just relying on the prosthetic or the effect or whatever or the CG.
There are people in werewolf suits, and I think that's a huge benefit to this movie and its ability to be watched 23 years later and
they look good.
And still be cool. I have always had a problem, or not a problem. I've always thought that the hybrid design is lazy, but I also don't know what I would have wanted instead. All they did was like give him bigger vampire teeth, and then they kind of put this weird sub-rib cage type thing on him and made his skin black and gave him big claws. I mean, what would a vampire werewolf hybrid look like otherwise? I don't really have any good ideas.
Yeah.
So maybe I'm being too harsh is what I'm saying.
Like that is kind of what I think of when I think of a vampire werewolf hybrid. I don't go
But
the other
is that
way.
because of the zeitgeist
right. That's a good
of
question.
Underworld?
That's a good question. I have to really do some deep soul searching. What I would think of this monstrosity.
Yeah, and also, this movie is crazy offset more than anything else, because Kate Beckinsale was in a long-term relationship with Michael Sheen, the guy that plays Lucian.
Oh.
Michael and Kate have a daughter, and actually their daughter apparently appears in the film during a flashback when Celine was younger. I didn't clock it myself, but the bigger part of this is that Kate Beckinsale married director Len Wiseman.
Oh.
So she and her partner, her long-term partner at the time, Michael Sheen, go and do this movie together. She meets Len Wiseman. She breaks up with Michael Sheen and marries Len Wiseman, and then they're all friends still, apparently.
Hey,
I think that she and Michael they co-parented their daughter, and he's like chill with Len Wiseman, like, hey bro, that stole my wife on the set of a movie that we were on together, no big deal.
Yeah, that's not the norm. No. Hollywood relationships have never been the norm, and that one particularly does not sound like the norm.
No, I hate it.
That's crazy.
But hey, if it works for them, I guess more power to them. The other really interesting thing I think about this is that when we were discussing Blade, I brought up League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
Yeah.
Rona Mitra, who played she plays not Lucy, but she plays whoever the woman, Mina Harker. She plays Mina Harker in that movie.
Yeah.
She was going to play. She was in the running to play Celine. She eventually was inserted so the U.S. Netflix version of Underworld Rise of the Lycans, which is the third movie in the series, I believe. Yeah, it was Underworld 2 or whatever it is, and then the third one, which is Underworld Rise of the Lycans in 2009. They were popping these out every 2 years and then 3 years, and it was 2 years between the first one and the second one, and then 3 years between the second one and the third one, and then I think that they took a couple years to do the fourth one. Anyway, still crazy. But Rona Mitra shows up as Sonia, Victor's daughter, in the third movie. And I guess that the original release of Underworld Rise of the Lycans had a woman named Jasmine Demac playing that character, and then they like retroactively put Rona Mitra in it. So it's just like a weird web of like, I think that Rona Mitra was like, fuck yeah, make me more vampire movie like content. Let's do it.
That's crazy.
Do you like to laugh, geek out on music, and learn all about that band or artist who had that one song back in the day, but then seemed to fall off the face of the earth? If so, you need to subscribe to One Hit Thunder. Together with an array of interesting and hilarious guests, we do a weekly dive into one-hit wonders like Eiffel 65's Blue, Krayshawn's Gucci Gucci, EMF's Unbelievable, Delamitri's Roll to Me, Los Del Rio's Macarena, Musical Youth's Pass to Dutchie, and even Patrick Swayze's She's Like the Wind. So are you subscribed to One Hit Thunder or what? As Desiree would say, you gotta be. And as K7 would encourage, you gotta come baby come and join in on the fun of the One Hit Thunder podcast.
Come, baby, come, baby, baby, come, come. Come, baby, come, baby, baby, come.
Are you a fan of young adult novels?
Have you ever wondered the stories behind the people who wrote your favorite young adult novels?
Then join author Eric J. Brown
And Alyssa Lube of Netflix's The Circle.
every other Tuesday on YAOK.
Available on all podcasting apps.
Woo!
What's up, everybody? This is Brian here to tell you about our podcast, Bingetown TV. Our hosts include 7 best friends with a love for all things television. We cover a range of genres with a focus on fantasy and sci-fi, but also dip our feet into drama, horror, comedy, and pretty much anything we think is good television. We use the traditional deep dive formula for new live shows that are released week to week, but our calling card is our Rooks and Vets and Pitchtown TV series. Rooks and Vets pairs 2 of our hosts that have seen a show with 2 of our hosts that have not seen a show. Pitchtown TV is when we have a special guest pitch us a show by having us watch the pilot and trying to convince us to watch the rest. If you're craving more content on some of your favorite TV shows, then you should listen to Bingetown TV. Find us on our website at bingetowntv.com, the Apple Podcast app, Spotify, or wherever else you may find your podcast.
Do you like to laugh, geek out on music, and learn all about that band or artist who had that one song back in the day, but then seemed to fall off the face of the earth? If so, you need to subscribe to One Hit Thunder. Together with an array of interesting and hilarious guests, we do a weekly dive into one-hit wonders like Eiffel 65's Blue, Krayshawn's Gucci Gucci, EMF's Unbelievable, Delamitri's Roll to Me, Los Del Rio's Macarena, Musical Youth's Pass to Dutchie, and even Patrick Swayze's She's Like the Wind. So are you subscribed to One Hit Thunder or what? As Desiree would say, you gotta be. And as K7 would encourage, you gotta come baby come and join in on the fun of the One Hit Thunder podcast.
Come, baby, come, baby, baby, come, come. Come, baby, come, baby, baby, come.
The last thing I have to say, and then we'll go into the what do we watch, is that I love how unserious IMDb is sometimes, because there's one quote unquote crazy credits on the Underworld page, and this is what it was. The Lakeshore Entertainment logo is shaded blood red. That's it. That's not a crazy credit.
Those credits are crazy, baby.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
fucking
For
whatever,
a movie
man.
so blue, those credits
Yeah,
being
oh man,
red.
this movie is blues and blacks everywhere.
Yeah.
Well, Scott, if you had some friends over to watch Underworld, the extended 2-hour and 13-minute version, what would you show them afterwards?
I would speed things up with Abe Lincoln Vampire Killer.
Ooh.
Whoa. All right.
Which we'll absolutely discuss on this show when it's old enough.
So, Kyle, I'm going to go next because there is no world. There's no world or underworld where I have taken your pick here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go with not a movie that I enjoy. In fact, I'm going to try to get people out of my house. But I'm going to go with the other movie that I distinctly remember being advertised as like, oh, this is Werewolf and Vampire Romeo and Juliet, Blood and Chocolate.
Oh, wow.
Oh my God. That took me a second to...
I forgot that movie existed. Okay.
Yep.
I've never
So
finished
did
it.
most
Is it
people.
is it good? Is it worth finishing?
horrible.
I thought so. I didn't know if there was some redeeming quality that you had.
No, just I remember working at a video store when it came out, renting it because once again, I was promised Vampire and Werewolf Romeo and Juliet, which is apparently a thing I really want to see in movies.
Yep.
And, it was more successfully a Romeo and Juliet style story than Underworld, but it was still
right, but
really
it's still
fucking bad.
Low bar entry.
Yeah.
So, that'll get people out of my house while I put that on.
No doubt. No doubt. I'm gonna keep it actiony. I'm gonna keep it blue. I'm gonna go with a flick that we watched here for the show. I'm gonna go with Priest.
Ooh.
Oh man,
Yeah.
that's gonna be
I feel like it could be
Cheese
fun.
City.
Yeah, I feel like that could be fun.
And you know what's crazy? Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter can be on the show. It's from 2012. So
there
it's
you
going
go.
on my list.
I was going to say, I can't believe that hasn't hit 10 years yet. Let us know what your double feature would be by hitting us up on social media, HMN Podcast on damn near everything. Help us out at the show by subscribing to the Patreon, patreon.com/HMN Podcast. Buy some merch at hmnpodcast.dashery.com. And, just hang, I don't know, we're cool people. Hang out with us. Keep in touch with us. Shoot us an email even at hmnpodcast@gmail.com. We're about to hit June. We're dangerously close to June, which means that you guys have about 2 months. We cut it off in the beginning of August to get in those listener submitted month picks. Email us, hmnpodcast@gmail.com, to be part of listener submitted month. This time there aren't any rules of what years the movies need to come out. Just don't make them suck. That's our goal.
The most difficult rule to follow, honestly.
So difficult. Scott, what is something that you watched, read, listened to, etc., that you want to talk about?
Now, I haven't finished this book yet, but I'm having a really good time, and I assume that I will be happy, this happy when I finish it, because this is not a new author to me.
Okay.
Christopher Buehlman's The Black Tongue Thief, which is Christopher Buehlman wrote Between Two Fires, which is one of my favorite, probably top 5 favorite books I've read in the last 5 years. It's really, really good. Black Tongue Thief is also historical, or kind of like fantasy, but it's kind of rough around the edges, and it may have horror elements to it. I haven't really gotten far enough to quite glean, but so it's not nearly as I don't think it's going to be as horror centric as Between Two Fires or something like he does that historical fantasy fiction-y horror type thing very well. He's just a fun writer, and so I will come back and say if it really disappoints me in the second 2/3, but as of the first third of it, I'm having a blast.
Love that. I'll go next because mine is not a particularly good one to end on. And I texted Kyle about this, but I recently discovered that Tubi, on top of just being a great free streaming app, has a very, very impressive collection of silent horror films from the 1920s and 30s.
Oh, that's cool.
So I watched The Unknown, which is a Todd Browning short. It was right before he did Dracula, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
It's got Lon Chaney in it, and the concept is that he works in a circus. He's the armless man who throws knives with his feet, But what you later find out is that he does, in fact, have arms. He has them tied around his body. No one knows that he has arms because he's a wanted murderer, and he's very easy to identify because of a birth defect where he has 2 thumbs on his hand. But he falls in love with one of the women at the circus and decides to have his arms amputated for real so that he can be with her only for when he returns from the surgery to find out that she's fallen in love with someone else. And he goes like fully insane. It's very like Santa Sangre I feel like Santa Sangre got a lot from this movie. But it's 50 minutes, I think, 55 minutes. It's a really like, oh, this is some fucked up shit from the 20s. Like, I love how fucked up some silent films are from that time period where there was like no ratings board and they could just make whatever their wildest dreams were. So, I mean, check out The Unknown for sure, but also just like watch some weird silent films that are on Tubi. Because they're so short, you only have like one commercial break in the entire movie usually.
Mm-hmm. Unlike 33 and a half when you try and watch this movie Underworld on
another pitch for Tubi is that you don't have maniacs fucking putting ad breaks in what they upload. I wanted to see that for a long time, and I knew it's obviously the precursor. Well, not obviously, but a precursor to Freaks, which is just an iconic Todd Browning flick. I watched The Rare Blue Apes of Cannibal Island.
I know those words. I don't know them in that sentence.
That's a new combination for me.
Known as there's a lot of alternate names. Mr. Quack Quack and the Rare Blue Apes, Captain Kronk and the Rare Blue Apes. And what this is a 70s...
Right now, it sounds like you're just naming Frank Zappa records.
And hey, guess what? It's a fucking musical, and it feels like it doesn't feel like Zappa music, though there are some weird time signatures and rhythms on some of the songs. There are some earworms within the music. There are some just really strange. This is 1974.
Okay.
And this was it's available on Night Flight. I believe it's available on Tubi. It's available kind of where Vinegar Syndrome stuff is. And it got released on this box set called The Lost Picture Show from Vinegar Syndrome that came out a few years ago, which is a collection of 10 lost films that the Vinegar Syndrome archivists saved and were able to put out in a decent quality, but also maybe not enough to put out like just a single release of them. And I think I've talked about their series, the Reviver series, on here before, which all of their proceeds go directly to the archival process. That is correct. And that is... just look up Rare Blue... While you're listening to this, take a quick pause, look up Rare Blue Apes. And you will see that it's a Malaysian kid fantasy musical about a boy who runs off with his pet duck, Mr. Quack Quack, and gets on a boat and lands on Cannibal Island, where there is a group of crocodiles that are more like pirate crocodiles that are hunting down and annihilating the rare blue apes, which are kind of, as we come to find out, they're kind of like aristocrats, and I don't feel as weird about them being attacked, but there's a boy that it's a little Alice in Wonderland, it's a little Peter Pan, it's this mixture of fairy tales, and it's fucking bonkers. It's well worth the watch. It is not like much else you've seen before, and I mean that in like in a weird way. I don't know how else to say it. I don't know how else to say it. I watched it with my homie Jeanette and her partner Emma and my wife Carly, and we had a grand old time and could not stop singing the songs all weekend. So,
all right. Well,
real quick question based on that film. Have you guys? I'm assuming that you have been exposed to Engine de Poitrine, the Quebecois rock duo, like the math rock guys that are...
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
The drummer and the guitar
did not know that that's how the name's pronounced, but yes. Two Piece Primus.
Yeah. I love them.
Yeah.
I mean, not their music, but I love the
aesthetic.
absurdist, Dadaist. It's kind of just like watching... I don't know, an art show. It's
Well, it's also so, and I'll make this very, very quick, but there was a TikTok breakdown that I really, really liked that pointed out that like music like this is going to continue to go viral because it is definitively something AI could not create if it tried.
Yes, dude.
Yes.
I was just gonna bring this up.
Like,
Thank you.
Like because like now AI has been trained to write the most generic, basic song structure.
fucking annoying.
That like having a 2-piece band that plays 8-minute long songs that have no distinguishable time signature all over it is going to be like the new way people prove the authenticity of their music almost.
How am I, as a musician, going to compete with AI? I mean, I can't do what Angine de Poitrine does, but like...
Right.
It's
a valid,
but
valid concern.
It's a valid concern, but also like, I don't know. I feel like 99% of the time you can pretty much tell and be like, this is not up to par. This is not very good. Well, you know what is very good? The Horror Movie Night podcast. So make sure that you like, subscribe, and share our content with all your friends and family, especially the ones in the red states. And we will be back next week with more Horror Movie Night.
Do you like to laugh, geek out on music, and learn all about that band or artist who had that one song back in the day, but then seemed to fall off the face of the earth? If so, you need to subscribe to One Hit Thunder. Together with an array of interesting and hilarious guests, we do a weekly dive into one-hit wonders like Eiffel 65's Blue, Krayshawn's Gucci Gucci, EMF's Unbelievable, Delamitri's Roll to Me, Los Del Rio's Macarena, Musical Youth's Pass to Dutchie, and even Patrick Swayze's She's Like the Wind. So are you subscribed to One Hit Thunder or what? As Desiree would say, you gotta be. And as K7 would encourage, you gotta come baby come and join in on the fun of the One Hit Thunder podcast.
Come, baby, come, baby, baby, come, come. Come, baby, come, baby, baby, come.
Are you a fan of young adult novels?
Have you ever wondered the stories behind the people who wrote your favorite young adult novels?
Then join author Eric J. Brown
And Alyssa Lube of Netflix's The Circle.
every other Tuesday on YAOK.
Available on all podcasting apps.
Woo!
What's up, everybody? This is Brian here to tell you about our podcast, Bingetown TV. Our hosts include 7 best friends with a love for all things television. We cover a range of genres with a focus on fantasy and sci-fi, but also dip our feet into drama, horror, comedy, and pretty much anything we think is good television. We use the traditional deep dive formula for new live shows that are released week to week, but our calling card is our Rooks and Vets and Pitchtown TV series. Rooks and Vets pairs 2 of our hosts that have seen a show with 2 of our hosts that have not seen a show. Pitchtown TV is when we have a special guest pitch us a show by having us watch the pilot and trying to convince us to watch the rest. If you're craving more content on some of your favorite TV shows, then you should listen to Bingetown TV. Find us on our website at bingetowntv.com, the Apple Podcast app, Spotify, or wherever else you may find your podcast.
You're listening to the Geekscape Network.